UFC 280 was one for the books as Islam Makhachev ascended to the lightweight throne by submitting Charles Oliveira in the second round. The fight was surprisingly a one-sided affair, as Makhachev controlled most of the exchanges and looked extremely dominant. That is why the reaction of the MMA world afterward is so interesting to see, as so many believe that Oliveira would get his hand raised at UFC 280. So, without further ado, let's jump into it and see what the MMA world is saying about Makhachev's near-perfect performance. It's only right that we start off with the former lightweight king himself, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Not only because he once held the title, but also because Khabib and Makhachev have trained together for over 2 decades, and now is Makhachev's head coach. This is what Coach Khabib had to say about his close friend's performance.
Brother, we talked before about Islam fight, Charles, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I told you, Islam gonna take him to the deep ocean and make him top. I told you. Nothing against Charles Oliveira, but Islam on another level.
Yeah.
Just people have to understand.
Yep.
Yeah, they have to understand. Islam is very good. I told you.
Mm-hmm. You have. You told me. You told a lot of people.
It seems as if Coach Khabib scripted it perfectly, while the UFC president Dana White was also singing Islam's praises in the post-fight press conference. This is what Dana White had to say.
What I think of the main event?
Yeah, the finish.
Incredible. I mean, I've been saying all week, you got 2 of the absolute best in the world in their prime facing off, and you know, when I went up into the octagon after, Khabib said, I told you he's the best in the world. Yeah, I mean, to beat Oliveira is one thing, to beat him the way he beat him is another, and as fast as he did it, he looked incredible tonight. You know, the big question going in tonight was how was he going to deal with the pressure? He dealt with it just fine.
Another person who scored a big win at UFC 280 was Sugar Show himself, Sean O'Malley. Not only was Sugar Sean extremely impressed, but seems like he can't wait to see Islam fight next against Alexander Volkanovski.
Charles kind of went through a knee. Islam hit him with the right hook, dropped him, went straight in the side half guard, got him in a head and arm choke. Motherfucker's for real. Submitted the submission king. I'm excited. I'm more excited about Volkov Islam than Islam versus any other 55er. If anyone,
I can agree with that.
Volkov's thick, bro. He's short but thick.
Yeah, he was 200 plus when he used to play rugby. He was 225 or something. So he's gonna be, and so he won't have to cut as much. Be able to put on some muscle when he's cutting down to 155. It's gonna be very interesting. Good wrestler.
Yeah.
But Islam, I was doubting Islam big time. I was high on Charles. Came in there, proved it. If Volkanovski doesn't beat him, I don't know who will in the 55.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, there's always that one punch. Like, fuck. Yeah, I don't know either.
And speaking of the reigning pound-for-pound king, Alexander Volkanovski has made news recently by sharing what he thinks he brings to the Makhachev fight that no previous opponents have so far. Just take a listen to what the featherweight champ has to say.
With Islam, that ain't gonna happen with me. I ain't gonna just be standing in front of you. You are gonna be trying to figure out a puzzle in front of you. The movement's gonna be difficult. You're gonna try and grab a leg and all that type of stuff. But again, you need to be in the right position to feel comfortable to shoot. And he won't feel that straight away. Then he's gonna get a little more desperate to try and grab the legs and all that type. Again, this is stuff he hasn't had to deal with. No, like there's no way there's people that have a calculated footwork like I have that he's faced. There's no way. I can't wait to put that puzzle in front of him, make him pay, get him uncomfortable, and then again, this small stature, this guy, you know, again, there's another thing, him calling me short, I don't think he realizes that helps me in a situation with someone like him. Let's be real. The size advantage and that, like, having that weight is obviously going to be a big factor. But me having this small stature, this stocky build, especially knowing how hard I am to hold down, is going to help me.
And going back to some more praise, Joe Rogan was also in awe with what Makhachev pulled off at UFC 280. Not only was he amazed at the overall performance, but also at how tight his arm triangle squeeze must be. Just take a listen to what Rogan had to say.
Watching Islam and Charles Oliveira, that was what a fight that was. Islam Makhachev must have the most incredible squeeze. His squeeze must be out of this world, because you see how quick Charles tapped once he clamped that on him. I mean, whew.
He had all the points covered, and he just like
Yeah,
done.
That dude is on another level. I mean, he is the truth. I was always impressed with him. But, I mean, I was saying, leading up to him getting a shot at the world title, he's the boogeyman of that division. He was the guy that everybody was saying, like, is the most dominant of all the contenders. And then when he tapped Dober, that was a big one. When he tapped Dan Hooker, that was a big one, too. It's like the way he's tapping these guys, who are these world-class fighters, and he's just fucking running through them. But the fact that he got on Oliveira and mounted him and then submitted him with an arm triangle, head and arm choke like that.
Michael Bisping, former middleweight champ turned color commentator, also shared his thoughts and had to give it up to Makhachev as Bisping had backed Oliveira before the fight.
Makhachev. Islam Makhachev was sensational tonight. Proved me wrong. Proved a lot of people wrong. Of course, he came in as the favourite, but a lot of people thought Charles Oliveira would win. And I was one of those people, and the reason being is because I thought, I am not going to underestimate this guy anymore, because Charles Oliveira, what he did, the run he went on was spectacular. And every time I thought he was going to lose, but he would always get the finish in spectacular style. And of course, going up against Islam Makhachev, it was a tough fight, but still I put my money on Charles, and Islam Makhachev proved myself and anyone else that did absolutely wrong. Islam Makhachev went out there tonight and dominated that fight from start to finish. And I'll just say this right now, that this is in no way any disrespect to Charles Oliveira, because I love the guy and the journey he's been on. And to come back after all those losses and become the champion and do it in such an exciting fashion. You know, if you watch me on here, I'm a huge fan. But even if they fought again, another 5 times, I don't think we would see anything different.
Henry Cejudo was another fighter who couldn't help but be incredibly impressed at how easy Makhachev made the fight look. This is what Triple C had to say.
Islam, yeah, and I think you know this, and I've been saying it all the time. I never wanted to, you know this, Michael. Michael's the producer right now. I'm like, Islam's gonna go get on top of him and just hurt him. This guy's not afraid to. This guy's not afraid to go on bottom. This guy's not afraid to do certain things. This guy is, he's a wrestler who has developed that ground and pound, who is lethal with it. You know, he is really, really lethal with his ground and pound, with elbows, knees on bottom, X, Y, and Z. He wasn't afraid to press charge. He wasn't afraid to throw. So I think super basic, got rid of Charles in a round and a half. I mean, the guy's a real deal. The guy's a real deal, and I just don't think tactically Charles Oliveira really had a plan to beat him like he did it.
And lastly, you'd think after training with Makhachev all those years, Daniel Cormier would have seen it all. But even he couldn't believe how dominant Islam was and the way that he finished the greatest submission artist in UFC history. Just take a listen to DC.
No way he believes that he's going to do this to Do Bronx. And he absolutely did, bro. He did it to a Charles Do Bronx Oliveira who was in shape, who was prepared, but he knew exactly what he needed to do. And I thought that was shown very early in the fight. Ryan, if you remember, at the end of the first round, or in the first round, Charles Oliveira, when Islam came into contact with him, pulled guard because he figured he might be able to submit him. But then by the end of the round, Islam had to take him down again. And in the second round, he defended because he felt the top pressure. And he was like, I'm not going to be able to maneuver my way away from this guy. He's too strong of a grappler. And then in the second round, when he dropped him with that left hand right hook, that was nasty. And then he gets the arm triangle, Ryan. And I've been in this kid's arm triangle. It's so tight. It's so tight. The moment he was able to clear guard, Charles Oliveira tapped. And I'm telling you, bro, it was one of the most dominant performances that we've ever seen from a challenger. You were exactly right.
So it is safe to say that not only did Islam Makhachev earn the UFC lightweight title, but also has earned a new level of respect from his peers in the larger MMA community. Now it seems as if he'll be putting that title on the line against Alexander Volkanovski, and we cannot wait to see what happens then. So if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell beside it so that you're notified the next time we upload a new video. And with that being said, you just watched the MMA World's reaction to Islam Makhachev submitting Charles Oliveira. We'll see you next time.